And in Maryland, thousands lined up, many waiting hours to make their voices heard in the election. 7's on your side with live coverage of both of these major stories. We begin with ABC 7 Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell in Bowie. And Brad, when we last checked in with you, there was about an hour and a half wait there to vote. How's the line right now?
Yeah, it was an hour and a half then. It was 3 hours earlier. Right now, it is down to about 45 minutes. Still a lot of people in line, but it is moving quickly. Now, listen to this. I just got an update from the State Board of Elections. As of about 5:30, 128,000 plus people voted today, the first day of early voting. That exceeds the total from 2016. Checked had long lines to start the day. In Brandywine at the Aquatic Center, the wait was more than an hour. Voter Heather Gerald coming prepared.
I bought study material that I needed to study and just waited it out.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Finally, inside polling places, many who didn't vote in person in the primary encountering COVID safety precautions for the first time. Nothing we aren't used to by now. Masks are required. The voting booths are spaced out and cleaned between each use.
We're sanitizing everyone's pens, pencils.
The early voting centers are open every day from 7 to 8 until next Monday night. You're advised to vote off peak, which would seem to be midday, but don't be surprised if you end up in a line.
It took me about an hour and a half through the line, but not too bad.
You know, and that's the amazing thing today. I talked to a lot of people, nobody really expressing any frustration. They felt that it is important to be out here and they're going to take the wait. Now, I told you about 128,000 people voting today. Look, drop boxes are still open as well, and so far they've gotten back about 800 ballots, mail-in absentee ballots. A lot of people voting. In Bowie, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News.
Brad, thanks. And the 7 on Your Side team found tools to help you gauge that wait. The list on your screen is going to show you the times of all 11 of Prince George's County sites. The wait anywhere from nothing in College Park to an hour in Fort Washington. And in Montgomery County, there is an app there that shows you the locations closest to you and the wait time you might expect. Now, you've seen it live right here. We've searched for Rockville. We got 3 locations. The longest wait, just under an hour and a half. We have links to both of these tools that are very helpful. Good resource. We put it on our website for you. Go to WJLA.com/vote.
A Virginia man is locked up after being accused of using federal COVID relief dollars to buy a Lexus. He also bought a plane with your tax dollars, according to investigators.
Here's 7 on Your Side I-Team's Scott Taylor with details on the investigation and the man accused.
This is 48-year-old Didier Kendambu's LinkedIn page. He says he's the president of Papillon Air, a newly formed aviation service company that flies out of the Leesburg Executive Airport, just 17 miles from Dulles Airport. On Tuesday afternoon, he was in a Zoom chat with a federal judge at his initial appearance after being arrested on charges. He took $2.5 million in loans through the CARES Act Paycheck Protection Program and spent the money on a Lexus and a Cessna airplane. The PPP is supposed to help businesses affected by the COVID-19 pandemic continue to pay salaries or wages to their employees. Federal investigators say Kendambu, seen here on his Facebook page, carried out the scheme in connection with 2 businesses that he owns by creating fraudulent payroll documentation for each business. He's charged with 1 count of bank fraud, which carries up to 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine. His attorney tells 7 on Your Side he hasn't spoken to his client yet and has no further comment. Kendambu is innocent until proven guilty in a federal courtroom. Kendambu is back here in federal court later this week for a detention hearing. Tonight, he is locked up in a federal jail. In Alexandria, Virginia, Scott Taylor, ABC 7 News.
Now, just last month, the I-Team warned you about people cashing in on the programs that are meant to help businesses during the pandemic. ABC 7's Lisa Fletcher reported on the arrest of former New York Jets football player Joshua Bellamy. He was indicted for his alleged role in stealing $24 million from COVID relief programs. You can watch original reporting from Lisa and Scott on WJLA.com.
And of course, with 8 days to go until the election, we are all getting bombarded now with ads and influence campaigns. But new tonight, we're asking who's doing the influencing.
7 on your side. Senior investigator Lisa Fletcher sat down with one of the original masterminds behind digital political ads. Only on 7, why he says extreme voices and foreign actors are duping Americans and damaging our democracy.
What I thought the internet could do for democracy. Everyone's going to have access to more information, but it's open Pandora's box.
Cyrus Crone knows how to make digital messaging stick. He's a former Microsoft and Yahoo executive who's helped presidential candidates figure out how to use technology to reach their constituents. But somewhere along the way, he says things have gone horribly wrong.
There are individuals behind the scenes pulling the levers on all of this.
Specifically, China and Russia. And Crone says it's escalating in the days leading up to the election.
The Russian entities are now moving into conservative and right-wing social media platforms, pushing further disinformation into those audiences to ignite more vitriol.
So when these things go wildly off the rails, but it's working in President Trump's favor or it's working in Joe Biden's favor, how much effort are these campaigns making to reel in the false message and reset it with the accurate one?
Why would you? I remember very well when Senator McCain was running for president and he reprimanded individuals in the audience for telling lies.
No, ma'am.
We don't see that anymore because if the message is delivering, well, then it's doing its job. For society and democracy, I believe that's a problem.
The MIT Sloan School found that falsehoods are 70% more likely to be retweeted than the truth. And in a separate study, warned that the bubbles created by targeted information can distort reality and influence the outcome of elections.
My concern is that there's no end in sight. And what we're doing is we're fragmenting the population and creating tribalism now where the extremes are controlling the narrative. And that is discouraging more people from being a part of the representative democracy that we hold so dear.
Are you suggesting that my reality online is different than your reality online based on the information we're getting?
Entirely. In some cases, it's just standard practice because the algorithms of American corporations are providing that. But in other cases, it's nation states and foreign actors to get us to take actions and conduct ourselves in ways that are really designed to create foment and hatred amongst our citizenry. Foreign nations in particular are watching this play out and they haven't fired a bullet.
And Crone tells Lisa that there are dozens of ways you're being influenced and you don't even know it. You can see his full discussion right now on WJLA.com. And if you have any issues voting or you see problems at the polls, call or text the 7 on your side voter hotline. That number right there on your screen, 571-289-8945.